Hello and welcome back to the Seleucid campaign on YouTube. Well, I don't know, there may be others, but I'm claiming this one as the Seleucid campaign. I am the HeirofCarthage, and like I said, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for those who have been watching each episode. If you haven't, I've got them all in a playlist. Make sure you go back to the beginning and catch all the action because we do have a lot of fun action. As those of you who have been watching are no doubt familiar, we are trying to reestablish Hannibal's legacy, reestablish Alexander's legacy with the help of Hannibal. Hannibal's legacy would probably not be the best to reestablish because he lost the war, right? In any case, we're trying to reestablish Alexander's legacy, and Hannibal Barca is helping because historically he did stop off in the Seleucid court before the end of his life, and we thought that would be a fun premise to be following. We have giant satrapy wars going on in the east, and I now have 3 armies addressing all of the different wars over here. And then we've got Hannibal refitting his army in Alexandria, soon to sail over to Greece. If I take a look at Hannibal, I'm just curious here too. Let's go into the details screen. Actually, I should probably go into here. Character screen. Take a look at Hannibal. He is 62. So in ancient world terms, he is getting up there. He is getting up there in age. It is 4 turns per year, so he'll last a little longer, hopefully. Some people say, well, he could die at any moment. That's true. He could. And you know what? We're just going to deal with that. If that happens, it happens. I don't know whether or not he has any children. I don't even know whether it would show us such a thing because he's not part of our family. Yeah, he's not part of our family, so I'm just not sure if it would show us any of that information. Did we get him married? Sure thought we did. Maybe I failed to. Can't afford this action. I don't remember if we got him married. Oh well. If we didn't, we didn't, and Erdan screwed up. But like I said, we're refitting his army, and what we will do, the army will still be called Hannibal's Revenge, right? And should he die, we'll just, whichever general takes over, we're going to rename him and pretend it's Hannibal's son. And we'll just continue, and it'll be called Hannibal's Revenge regardless. So it'll still be, it'll be alright, is what I'm saying. We'll make it work. We've got ways of making it work. It does look like it's time for a turn-in. Thank you to all of those of you who continue to support with the comments and the likes. If I have earned a like from you by the end of you are watching this video, please take the time to go do that. It helps a lot. And I appreciate those of you who are supporting by participating in the conversations we had. The last conversation that I asked you all to participate in was, what Total War game did you get into the series with? And it was interesting. There was actually a lot of you who Rome 2 was your entry to the series. And I guess that doesn't entirely surprise me. There was a lot of hype surrounding this game. And even though its launch was rough when it came out, I think there was a lot of interest in the time period, in the game itself. And a lot of people probably got into the game at that point. Now for me, I actually got into the Total War series on the original Shogun Total War. I had borrowed the game from a friend and ran it on my computer at home. I'm surprised my computer ran it, and I was just fascinated with these 3D landscapes that the game had. Although, yes, it was little 2-dimensional sprites running around on these 3D landscapes, still, I was nonetheless fascinated with it. And I just wanted to play more, and I did eventually. After playing the original Shogun Total War, eventually I got a computer that had decent enough graphics capability, and I played Rome Total War. And that was after having had several years removed from playing the original Shogun, and I had gotten on YouTube and I saw videos from this guy called, yes, Prince of Macedon. And so then I wanted to play Rome Total War. When I started playing Rome Total War, because of having, enjoyed Prince of Macedon's videos so much, I decided to make my own videos, and that's how I got onto YouTube. So that's my beginnings with the Total War series, and it actually kind of ties in with what led me here to where I'm at altogether. So, in any case, thank you all for participating in that. Sorry, I have not responded to each and every comment like I was doing. It won't be sustainable for me to do so going forward. I just don't have the time. I did it for a while because I just really wanted to thank you all. And trust me, I continue to want to. But I just can't get to all of them. I will start responding to a fair few of them each time that we have it. But I apologize if I can't get to yours every time. But it does help me a lot if you continue to support by doing it. Now, in that last discussion, I had you tell me what Total War game got you into the series, and I loved the responses and the discussion that I saw from you all on that. And this time, I think, just for the sake of fun, let's kind of continue that discussion a little bit. What would you all like to see for the next Total War game? What would have you more hyped than anything else if Total War announced it as a title coming up? So, for instance, you know, let's say that, for instance, Rome 2 is my favorite, and the most hype that I could have would be to see a Rome 3 get announced or something like that, right? What is it that would get you all massively hyped? What Total War title would you want to see most announced next? Obviously, the ones that we know of coming up are Warhammer 3. There is an unannounced historical title, I think, that is under development. They have also said that they are working on another game set in the Three Kingdoms time frame. Again, I don't know all the details, but go down there in the chat and tell me what you'd want to see next. Personally, if I had to pick one that I think I would be super hyped for, other than Warhammer 3, because we know about it and we know when it's coming, and I'm obviously very hyped for that game. I think the next most exciting thing to me would be to have a sequel to Empire Total War, and it is, maybe released in a trilogy, kind of like Warhammer was, and it slowly expands to encompass the entire globe and brings way more factions and way more fighting styles with these other factions. And not only that, but the grand campaign would have 3 different time periods for starting, which changes the political layout when you pick it. I think there should be a starting point in the year 1600, and obviously the ability for the player to build up through technology that would have started in that time frame, a starting period at 1700 and a starting period at 1800. And I personally would find a ton of enjoyment from a game like that. Look at this, I got reinforcements over here. I'm just gonna group them and AI attack over here while I bring up my main troops. That's a garrison reinforcement. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would be most excited to see outside of the known Warhammer 3 title, which I am obviously extremely excited for. I don't expect that a lot of you, I know that a bunch of you who watch this are not as into Warhammer games, and that's fine. You don't have to be. I am, and I find it extremely fun, and I'm very excited for that launch. But like I said, aside from that, I would be very, very happy to get my hands on an Empire 2 release. So I'm going to wheel up and skirmish with these Tarentine cavalry. My Persian archers ought to be more than up to the task of cutting down a couple of Tarentine cavalry in a big hurry. There is some enemy Persian light archers and peltist. I'm going to bring my own peltist up. Which men are wavering? Oh, they suicide charged their cavalry into my mob. I'll bet those men are wavering. Mob don't exactly like getting cav charged. I'm gonna put some javelins into these peltists. Tarentine cavalry are being slaughtered by my Persian light archers.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Beat it to him, gents. Got some Thurio spears approaching. I'm gonna charge my heavy hoplites in. Shameful display. Start wrapping things up a bit. Go after these peltists. Their Thurio spears have stopped to just throw javelins, and I don't think they're gonna want to trade blows for very long like this. Alright, my mercenary veteran hoplites have engaged the enemy. actually going to move these peltists out. Let's take my cavalry. I've been a little bit slow to react. But that's just because I can afford to kind of take my time and enjoy killing the enemy here. Just no big hurry for me. Get my Thurio spears up here. Is that a pike unit? Yeah, I'll bring my own pike unit to face that pike unit. And use my Thurio spears to get some of their peltist.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Alright. Who did use all of its ammo? Some of my Thurio spears used all their ammo. Alright, our heavy hoplites are doing spectacularly. My reinforcement forces are doing a good job of just keeping some of the enemy busy over here. Had some Tarentine cavalry. It looks like that suicided its way in. Actually, keep my elephants over here. They've gotten a Tarentine cavalry free over there, and I've got to watch out. These Thurio spears are fleeing away from me, so I'm going to charge in with the elephants. We've wrapped up and destroyed most of the enemy army here.
Our general is under attack.
Indeed he is. Had a light archer kind of stop right in front of me there. Alright.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
One of my peltists is out of ammo. My Persian cavalry finished off this Median cavalry. We got a good charge on it, but remember that Median cavalry is substantially stronger than Persian cavalry. In a prolonged melee, the Persian cavalry is going to rely on the charge, and that's typical of shot cavalry in this game. The difference between it and melee cavalry is that the melee cavalry typically has a shield and has a better melee defense stat, albeit a larger charge bonus. Spear-armed melee cavalry tend to have a nice bonus versus large. Sword-armed melee cavalry tends to have maybe like a higher attack, so they're better against things like peltist in a prolonged melee. Probably my favorite melee cavalry in this game is Campanian cavalry, and they're a bit of a unique unit. They have very high attack, and they are good against, I would say, medium and light, either skirmishers or infantry, especially if those skirmishers or infantry are not spear-armed. Then they should take a particularly large amount of damage from Campanian cavalry, which is definitely a fun unit. It's one of my favorite ones to recruit when playing as Hannibal against Rome. Alright, so we have dealt with them. There is a Baktrian force nearby. Going to move up and lay an ambush. See if we can get lucky and lure this Baktrian force in closer. So we're going to lay our ambush. I'm going to do the same thing over here. There is some decent little ambushed terrain over here, some light forest, I believe. So I'm going to set another ambush and see if we can lure in these raiding Baktrians. I'd really like to catch them. I could have sworn there was an enemy army that moved in down here. We could get ambushed over here. Nope, nothing. Interesting. Well, we could either attack at Bam or we could attack at Pura. And I'm not sure which one we will take at the moment, but we've got some ambushes set up. Hannibal should have completed some recruiting during that turn in. He did. And he is only awaiting a single Persian light archer. He's going to need a navy to escort him. So I'm going to take our navy at Side. And I'm going to go ahead and sail it down with haste to Alexandria to pick up Hannibal on the next turn and escort him. And we'll stop off at Knossos and then on to Sparta and Athens. So that'll be our first stop in Greece. as we take the war to our enemies. Just looking at loyalty, obviously the Parthian families are none too happy with me after me senselessly killing off one of their family members. If one party, can you all answer me this question? If one party secedes, does the other one secede? Like, do they all go? Or if one party secedes, it may just be the one party. They are in control of this vicinity in Alexandria, and I don't know exactly what would happen. I'm just curious if you all can answer that or not. I would appreciate it. I don't remember. It has been too long since I played this game. I think if we marry this guy, we might be able to send his wife on missions too. Yeah, because there's the spouse. So now we can send them both on diplomatic missions to try and gain some extra loyalty. How about you go to the Odrysian Kingdom? Let's see how that works. These guys don't like me, so I'm very worried about sending them to my my friendly allies and stuff. I'm worried that they could somehow cause a betrayal. I don't even know if that's possible, but it concerns me. Concerns me quite a bit, in fact. All right, we had begun yet another army here. Is actually taking attrition at the moment. No longer sustain them. Resolve this crisis before it cripples. We're having, like, unseasonal conditions. Yeah, in Syria. Extreme drought in Syria. Scorching hot summer in Parthia and Mesopotamia.
Ready for orders.
Alright, so let's continue the recruitment of this army. We had been working on some thorax swords. Some of you have mentioned, are we always going to do a phalanx-themed army? You know what? Fair point. How about this? We'll do a Roman-style army with this one. So, heavy sword infantry as the main line. So I'll get 8 heavy sword infantry as a main line. We'll get some lighter auxiliary type units, like with Thurio spears, as support units. So this army will be relying heavily on infantry. And then we'll have a contingent of skirmishers to help support it. But again, this one will be a more Roman-style sword-based army. And don't have any problems doing things a little different, so we'll mess with that. When we get access to Silver Shield swordsmen, we could even use the thorax swords as kind of more like a Principe, or sorry, a Hastati to a Principe type thing with the silver shields. And then, heck, you could even pull in some shield barriers to represent your Triari and have like a Primarian Seleucid Roman knockoff army. So we could totally do that. Have some fun. Oh, fall for that ambush. Ah, they went right through my ambush. And the other ones didn't fall for it, but we've lured them in closer. Alright, Cholchis has arrived. And I can't quite tell where this is taking me. Amacia, I don't really remember where that's at on the map. I don't remember what kind of general unit this is. It may be some kind of hoplite. It's been a long time since I've seen Cholchis in action. They've got hoplites here. I've only got a single pikeman and a couple of slingers. I think it's highly unlikely that we can win this. So I'm not going to waste my time. We'll just have to fight back against Cholchis. Is this in Asia Minor? I think it is. It is. Okay. So Cholchis has hit me in Asia Minor. I kind of expected them to come through the Caucasus. Sardes might be headed that way. We had about a jillion messages there. Had some more unseasonal conditions, early autumn. Now in Syria. We're gonna need this army. The Griffin's Grace. And there's Median cavalry available to us. A couple of those would be good. And it looks like it's going to be a couple of turns before we're... I need a shot cavalry, but I don't think I have access to any more shot cavalry at the moment. Could look at hiring a mercenary unit. It's going to be expensive. But I do need another shock cavalry in this army. Alright, you know what? We could just hire some elephants. Does it ever hurt to have elephants in an army? And then it wouldn't be a mercenary, and I think it costs... Yeah, it's way less upkeep than a mercenary Persian cavalry. So there we go. That army will be ready in a couple of turns to go face off against Cholchis. And I need my fleet down here to pick up Hannibal. So Hannibal is going to sail out. His army finally ready to go. Let's take a look at the factional loyalties. Hannibal's faction is maintaining loyalty without me spending any money on it at the moment, which is great. Oh, I meant to go look and see. That's what I was wanting to look at in the message. What happened with the political intrigue? Research penalty. We got a famous bard, so we got increased public order. That's nice. So at least one of them didn't betray me. Let's get back in here and see if I can send them on yet another mission here. Send as diplomat. Let's send him to Athens. You know, a little false envoy action here. Cyrenaica. Alright, so a little false envoy action. Should be entertaining. Boy, we've got wars, folks. We've got wars for days. Alright, here is that Arachosian army. I'm going to move back into this settlement and move back towards Persepolis to see if we can intercept the Arcosians here. There are so many enemy armies. This one came past me and laid siege, but in their haste has left themselves quite vulnerable to counterattack. So the heralds of Thanatos here, not Thanos, not to be confused with Thanos, right? Led by our king Antiochus is going to get a good shot. The Baktrians are not recruiting very good troops, which is unfortunate from kind of a fun standpoint in terms of us having to fight some more elite Baktrian troops. Boy, speaking of mercenaries, this army is costing us a lot. We need to refit this army, but right in the middle of a war isn't exactly the time to do so. And CA, please, what is this terrain? Like, what is this terrain? We were sitting right next to a settlement. I don't even see the settlement. Okay, here it is, way off over here. This hill was not on the map, and it's extremely convenient for the AI to have this massive hill, don't you think? Alright, well, we're going to have to deal with it. Fortunately for me, their army sucks butt, and doesn't really matter that they have a giant hill position. I get my standard army formation, which has been very successful for us. And I'm gonna have to take my time to maneuver the AI a little. I'm gonna try some gimmicks here. Is the AI going to come down and attack me? At the very least, it appears like they want to send their horse archers this way. Bring my reinforcements from the settlement up behind them.
What are your orders?
Well, if the AI wants to just sit here and face me, I'll wait until my other troops come, attack them from behind, and that should buy me the, not that any of these units are going to be any good, but, you know, it'll give me something to keep them busy with nonetheless. Eastern Slingers, Scythian Horse Archers. They're busy reforming right now. Now they're pushing down the hill. I don't know what they're doing. AI is pushing down the hill now, which is perfectly fine with me. Like, I'm happy to let them come in range of my missile units. These Scythian horse archers are about to get a rude awakening from my Thurio spears and Persian light archers. Peltist. Okay, yeah, they're moving down the hill. Odd indeed. Their general is also in a horse archer unit, so these first two mercenary Scythian horse archers get shredded. They do have a unit of thorax swords over here.
Advances me! Pikes, ready! Pikes ready! Form
I'm gonna move my pikes up just slightly.
Spears ready! Ready and waiting! War elephants!
No.
Ready! And ready! Peltasts!
Pull my peltas back. Start moving around the flank over here.
We await your command!
Alright, their thorax swords went unintelligently straight into my pikes, which I'm pretty okay with. I forgot to put my missiles in a defensive formation, so they were starting to run off, chasing enemy units. These units were supposed to run, and they're not.
Ready and waiting! Spears! Advance at speed!
Persian cavalry. I gave these units a waypoint movement order, and they were supposed to start running, but they didn't.
Peltasts! Orders understood!
We get these eastern slingers.
Orders! By your command! Ready for order! Your orders! By your command! Orders! Engage!
The battle is turning in our favor.
Okay.
We await your command! War elephant!
We're in good shape.
At your service! My lord! Armored elephant!
Let's try and trample Antiochus on through here. Group inspire.
Riders, advance!
Keep those elephants moving.
Quickly now!
Comes the other elephant charge. Might as well trample.
As you wish!
And we're basically pinching the enemy army between two units of elephants.
Armored elephant! Forever loyal! War elephant!
There were some pikes in here. Some of our elephants have ended up on the wrong side of those pikes, but I expect this army to rout quickly. I don't think it's going to be able to give my... Oh, no, those are my... No, they're not all my pikes. I think there were some enemy pikes in there. Yeah, thorax pike unit right there. Which, that would be why my mercenary veteran hoplites got so chewed up here.
Tribunas! Elephants and ready! War elephants! Armored elephant! War elephants!
I hate that my mercenary units got so chewed up, but should be okay. These pikemen are holding on much longer than I would have thought in the face of war elephants. They're the only units left.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
There we go. The enemy general is still alive over here, and it's kind of pointlessly skirmishing because it's being chased by these units. I'll just let these two eastern slingers and my peltist trade some shots with it.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful.
Okay, there we go. Our slingers got a few shots in. This Baktrian horse archer unit is now routed. So some mistakes on my part, not recognizing the pike units on my right flank, cost me quite a few hoplites that otherwise need not have been lost. Other than that, the battle, I think, went pretty darn well. I'm going to keep taking the extra cash off of these wins here. This army is now extremely weak. The good thing is their general did survive and flee there. Well, actually, let's go ahead and finish him. Because we haven't leveled up yet with Antiochus, and I want to level up. Let's go ahead and fight this battle manually, because I can't afford to have one of my units be lost in an auto-resolve, and we are very close to losing some of them. And I guess I could cut this part out, but it might be kind of funny for you all to watch the assassination that I'm about to put down. Basically, I'm just going to bring all my missile units up. Just a couple of scattered horse archers. They're not going to
Our
like what they're
reinforcements
facing
have
here.
arrived.
Don't need reinforcements. I think we've got this handled. Alright. Move into archery range. Open fire. And you all can enjoy the Baktrian general's
The enemy general
last
is
stand. He got 2 kills. Gotta give him credit for that. Yikes. That guy got a few new face piercings in the process of dying. He'll no doubt be looking quite fashionable as he heads to the afterlife. All those new piercings in the Elysian fields. Oh, that was funny.
Commander.
That was funny. I'm going to actually garrison at Raga because I'd like to move on to Ecbatana.
We hunger.
And now I get my choice of
At your command.
which army to kill, because we laid our ambush. Neither army fell for the ambush, but they moved yet another army up. Speaking of, did we gain any skill points there? We did not. So we are close to having another one for the army, and extremely close to having another one with Antiochus, which would give me enough cunning, I think, to try and get Hannibal into our family.
At your command.
I would have to temporarily relieve him of his army command, though, in order to do that. Agent action. Speaking of, let's take a look. Okay, yep. All is good on the political front. At least for now.
Victory!
Let's attack this Baktrian. Oh, they brought Indian war elephants. Well, fantastic. And they've got a general that is in a heavy cavalry unit. They do have a few pikes, horse archers, slingers. So a little bit better army here from the Baktrians. And happy to have the additional challenge of facing elephants. Now you all get to see how you can try to deter enemy elephants. And you'll notice that I went heavy with units on my flanks that all have javelins. That is one way to deter elephants. And then my pike front can also hold back elephants. They may take some damage in the process, but pikemen, generally speaking, as long as the elephants attack into the pike front, the pikes will hold, generally speaking. We're going to need our archers ready, so I'm actually going to position a couple of archers on either flank. We can use flaming arrows to help berserk the elephants, and should need be, we can intercept with our own melee cavalry. The melee cavalry doesn't do particularly well long-term against the elephants, but it can be used just as a momentum stopper, right? You can use it to stop the heavy mass of the enemy elephants. So I'm going to deploy slightly different here. Normally I put my archers under center behind the phalanx. I could see their elephants deployed to the flank, and so I wanted my archers on the flank. So I have javelins and flaming missiles ready for the incoming elephants. So thorax swords, thurio spears would all discharge the javelins for the heavy damage. The flaming missiles hopefully used to berserk the enemy elephants. Sometimes the AI is really stupid when it comes to elephants, and when you berserk them, they immediately click the kill elephants button. And so sometimes the AI will kill all their elephants for you if you berserk them, which is really a stupid choice, especially if the elephants are berserking in your lines and not within the enemy lines. So just something to be aware of there. I am going to go ahead and move up and assault the enemy force, though I'll need to rest briefly. I might be pulling up a little too close. I don't want to end up in range of those eastern slingers. I might be, though. Haven't seen a volley coming my way yet. So we must be just out of range, and that's good. I'm going to let my units all rest. Some of my heavier units get, very tired. So we're going to let those units rest. I'm going to fast forward for a moment. No overtures from the enemy elephants at this time. And let's see, all my units are fresh again. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move my entire army forward. And if I can... Okay, no. Stop moving. Their elephants just made a move. Alright, their elephants are now coming for me. I'm going to switch to Flaming Shot, Guard, attack elephants here. And flaming shot on the elephants. And let's see, Medians, prepare yourselves. This elephant should, yep, it already berserked. Let's see if the AI does the kill elephants thing for me. They did not, but their elephants died very quickly, so one elephant unit dealt with. Alright, so far so good. Pike formation. We have another elephant unit approaching. Let's switch to flaming shot, guard mode. Target elephants, countercharge the citizen cav. Thurio spears. Alright, there is one elephant still up. We just took it out. So I'm gonna now switch out of flaming shot and tackle that horse archer. Alright, this elephant berserked. We're going to now switch our archers back to standard shot. The elephant berserked into our swordsmen, but we were waiting for them and caused a lot of damage. Alright, we've gotten rid of the horse archer out here. It shows a single unit still standing over here, but I don't see any such thing. Time to start out flanking. Alright, we got rid of the horse archer. Let's swing the Median cavalry out. What all is in here? Eastern spearmen, levy pikes.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Right, I need this unit to standard shot and attack the horse archers. Okay.
Our general is under attack.
Alright, Median cavalry can get after that stuff. The Baktrian Royal Cav countercharging me over here. Alright. Things are looking good now. I did have some units take some unnecessary damage. I had an archer that ended up in a bad position there. So that was a mistake on my part. This citizen cavalry, I don't know how it could hold up for that long against my Medians. It didn't do well, but I'm still surprised that it's just living. Our thorax swords completed an envelopment over here, and our elephants finished trampling out all the infantry. So still a good battle for us. We contained their elephants and allowed them very little damage to our army. We did take some damage to 2 of our units, but nothing that we can't overcome. So that was a pretty clean defeat of Baktrians there by Antiochus II. Take the cash again, release the captives. So we are defeating the Baktrians over and over again in combat. It's just that at the moment, they kind of have the AI cheats that allow them to just continue fielding tons of armies. And I mean, that's just something you got to deal with as the player. That's the way the cookie crumbles. There's really no other way to say it. That is just the way that things work in the game, and that's fine. It at least gives you a lot of battles, right? And I enjoy battles. I enjoy battles. Do this right here. Some good research. I'm gonna keep doing the civil research for now. As I mentioned, I'm just not in a hurt. It looks like Sardes is about to strike back for me against Cholchis, which is honestly okay. I only controlled the one settlement here. So I'm not really worried about Sardes taking it, especially if it blunts Cholchis in that vicinity. Cholchis has another army here outside Edessa. And I can recruit all these units in Edessa. So as much as I hate to do it, I'm going to cancel that recruitment and then force march to Edessa. And we can continue the recruitment from here if we need to, but that should give me enough troops in Edessa to be able to hold off Cholchis from causing me any damage there. And then my allies have an army here, so I'm hoping that will dissuade Cholchis in that vicinity. That gives me a ton of money because of I'm not recruiting any units now at the end of this turn. Take a look at a few things here. We have extremely high public order in Jerusalem. So I'm going to go ahead and build up this enameler. Make some extra cash off of it because just why not at this point. Build a fountain because we were supposed to rebuild the waterworks that I destroyed in Petra in my brilliance. Okay, these trade goods, all these spices are good, and we're sitting on an absolute crap ton of food. So I'm just going to spend a little money on Nabatea. Nabatea could be a really nice source of income for us. Athena's Faithful has some skill points, so let's go over here. And they can pick up their first army tradition. I'm going to do siege experts. I like to have siege experts in case that I want to build towers and stuff for a larger walled settlement. I find it helpful to help you avoid as many casualties. All right, so Cholchis decided to go after my ally there. And it looks like Sardes has arrived. Persepolis surrendered? How did we run out of supplies in 2 turns? Like, literally 2 turns. We were out of supplies entirely. That doesn't make any sense. The city hadn't been sieged prior. That is like one of the fastest surrenders I've ever seen. Well, that's okay. Now it's their turn. They don't have many supplies either, so perfect. I'm just going to continue the siege and see how they like it now when they're faced with surrender. Right. What is this faction here? Media? Let's go into our diplomacy and find Media, and let's give them a war coordination target to try and take back their stuff. Or no. Set a war coordination target here against Cholchis, and then let's go to Sardes, and I'm going to set them a war coordination target here. And that should work. So we've got war coordination targets set. I got some replenishment done. We need to come and take Ecbatana from the Baktrians. I don't want them to have a base of operations this deep behind my lines. So I'm going to hold a siege here.
Besieging settlement.
Some of my units are still damaged. This army got some replenishment done during the turn end. Enough, honestly. This army fortified. And we haven't fought a fort battle. And I feel confident that despite being in their fort, we could pretty easily take these guys.
To victory!
We do have to get rid of their towers, but my heavily shielded thorax units and thurio spears should be good at approaching the fort and helping me burn my way in. Let's fight this. We haven't fought a fort battle, and I want to throw this one in just for the sake of getting some fun battle diversity here, right? Giving us something new. Let's wait. Now let's start the deployment so we can see their fort up in front of us. Gonna attack from this direction because these towers will be the easiest to burn. We don't have rocks in the way blocking our approach. So I'm going to take, again, all these heavily shielded units. I'm gonna follow them up with my archers. And then I'm gonna leave some cavalry facing both of the entrances. There is no gate. Alright, let's do this. I'm going to move all of my units to just outside of the enemy tower range. Let's fast forward. so once we move up to just outside of tower range, then we're going to begin the process of burning their towers and burning holes in their fort and preparing an assault. And I'll do it under the cover of my archer fire. I have some levy pikemen, for instance, right here holding up the entryway. Let's let our troops rest just momentarily. Again, I'm going to fast forward, albeit even just for a moment. Troops regain their stamina. We're going to burn the arrow tower. We're going to burn this wall, burn that wall, or actually let's burn this. Burn. And I can't burn. Our Thurio spears, I think, have to go off of fire at will. No, we have to put them into melee. Yeah. We have to put them into melee mode to do some burning. Alright, so the Great Burning is on the way. I'm going to move up my archers. I want to bring up my archers. I could have used their flaming arrows to do some burning too, but I'd rather use their arrows to just damage enemy infantry. Pikemen are going to be particularly vulnerable. Alright, so the Great Burning begins. We just hit their pikes pretty good. Let's back up. Their pikes are kind of coming out. And I don't want my thorax swords to end up in combat with those pikes yet. Let's burn more stuff here.
The walls are breached.
Alright, so we are busy breaching their walls. My archers are destroying pike units. They're going to continue to do so. And some of their mercenary Baktrian hillmen came out to face me. I'm going to burn down more of their walls. I want clean entry into the fort. Alright, so this tower is starting to catch on fire. My archers are absolutely annihilating levy pike units, which will be good. Once I've kind of cleared a path, I'm going to bring in some pike units of my own.
The walls are breached.
Alright, so we've breached multiple walls. Let's get my pikes to advance. Got more walls that are burning. The horse archer general is looking kind of vulnerable, so I'm going to take shots at him. It's not what I'm doing. Okay, so we have cleared out a significant portion of their walls here.
The enemy general is
Oh man, our archers are just wreaking absolute havoc. Eastern spears. Eastern spears. They have another levy pike unit over there.
The enemy's tower has been destroyed.
Alright, I'm bringing up the pikes. Thurio spears in. I've taken some pretty good damage on some of my thorax swords, but they have done a stellar job. My cavalry is keeping some of their units fixed here.
All its ammunition.
I'm gonna try and bust through here with my Thurio spears. Yep, we've got their attention, so that now opens up this flank.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
I'm gonna pull some of my thorax swordsmen back. They've taken a lot of damage. Let my pikes hold that fight instead. Need some support here. Our archers are running out of ammo, but they've done a spectacular job. Oof, that's bad. I can't afford to be taking flaming missiles on my elephants. Let's get away from that.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Okay, my Median cavalry is trying to cut its way through this slinger. It's not having the best time. Let's bring the elephants in to support. These Eastern javelin men worry me a little. This should finish the Baktrian encampment with the arrival of these elephants.
The battle is turning in our favor.
I'm gonna charge straight back here. Trample.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Alright.
Infantry ready. To arms! All our swordsmen! Ready. By your command. Ready.
There we go. Alright, so we've gained the victory. We absolutely leveled the Baktrian fort. So, not a smart decision to stay in the encampment by the Baktrians. Go capture that tower. Bring my elephants back out of the line of fire a little bit. I don't know how in the world my Median cavalry is getting so held up.
Advance at speed! Pikes! Marching order!
Alright, Medians, run them down.
Used all its ammunition.
Alright, the remaining towers are being captured. Enemy routes. So there you go, a fort battle. It definitely cost you some losses because the AI will have those fortified positions, but it's still fun to fight them. You can see that their slingers actually got a decent bit of work done. They were part of what was hurting me pretty badly, but then my archers hurt them even worse than the slingers. The slingers just don't have as good of a arc of fire in that situation, and so typically archers are going to excel when firing up and over walls like that. This Baktrian army has just a few units remaining, and we should totally kill them. I think we can reach them, and I'd like to completely finish them off so that it leaves the Baktrians basically having to recruit all new armies, and they don't have any places to do that very close to me now. They have a lot of settlements still behind me, which, oh my gosh, this map. CA, please, what is this? Like, if you've been playing Troy recently, you can see what an egregious offense to Total War that these maps are. And here we go, let's just start the battle. This is going to be easy to finish off anyway. I just need a few of my units to come over here. Yeah, all I've got is some Eastern Slingers. I'm just gonna come storming in with my Median cavalry. Alright, fast forward. Now on a somewhat downhill gradient for my Median cavalry. Smash through these archers. And everything else while we're at it. There we go. So that's going to be the end of that Baktrian army in its entirety. Antiochus here racking up, Antiochus II, I should say, racking up some nice victories. So 2 different turn-ins and 2 different Baktrian armies utterly annihilated. Just continue to take the wealth from the captives because why not? Because we can. Let's head back to the settlement. Alright, so Ecbatana is sieged. My allies have attack orders against Cholchis. This army, I have to take it out of that stance, and then we can continue. I thought we could continue the recruitment here. We actually can't. Well, dang. That's not what I wanted. I don't really want to surrender Edessa, so that is not what I expected to find here. Well, you know what? For the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and recruit a few Eastern Slingers while we're sitting here. I thought it was in the same. It is not. I was thinking of Dura here. So, my bad. Made that mistake. Hannibal can now sail for Knossos. So Hannibal is sailing. We can upgrade our fleet here. Let's do it. We've got level 2 hulls. Cyrenaica is acting very, very strangely here. To keep a close eye on them. I believe we gave our allies orders. Let's see. Does this improve my garrison? Yeah, Hillman and Levy Pikemen. Let's go ahead and put these in a lot of our major settlements to improve the garrison slightly. And the enameler. Public order from Squalor. I think we can afford it. It's not going to hurt us. And then our glasswares. Let's do that. Alright. Okay, folks. I think this is where the episode is likely to end. I'll probably end one more turn. You have some upgrades here. Looks like the agent in Hannibal's army has leveled up again. We can find the next single building, an enemy settlement. Zeal. This one isn't unlocked until rank 6. Same here. -1 to enemy siege holdout time. Double for city ports accompanying general. I think that's going to be good going into this fight with Athens. Athens is likely to have some fairly substantial walled settlements. So Athena's faithful. Antiochus gains a skill point. We put his first one into cunning because we are kind of role-playing that he has been a study of Hannibal since Hannibal entered the court. So we're going to do a similar tree with him. And let's end this turn and see what happens. Bactria is still moving around with that small army. Cholchis captures Dura. And the Arachosans are going to come out against me at Persepolis rather than surrender because they're going to be forced to surrender anyway. So I will begin the next episode here. With Seleucus taking on the Colchian forces here. We've got some fun stuff. Hannibal's on the way to Athens, and the wars are just in full swing back in the east, and we're having a lot of fun with it. Hope you all are enjoying it. Don't forget to comment about what you would like to see in the next Total War title, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to go leave me a like. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you next time.